Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the national team of Angola and South Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for a national item from Angola. And now, please listen up for a national anthem for South Africa.
Angola, Zimbabwe through in South Africa. It's a fearsome foursome emerging from the travelling party of 2024, the class of 2024 is ready to graduate. Hello, Bortaja Weviro from the larger arena. This is moving day in the Total Energies Under 20 Africa Cup of Nations COSAFA Qualifiers 2024. A prize up for grabs here in the suburb of Matola for a spot in next year's Junior AFCON and Under 20 World Cup showpiece headed for South America. Chile, the final destination. Today's referees Godfrey Ngaranka of Malawi to be assisted by those three men. VAR is in effect. In the VAR is Maria Rivet and Tharel Nyerenda. A beautiful addition for some high-stakes football. Getting us underway are 8-time winners and arguably tournament favorites South Africa up against Group B conquerors Angola. Both teams putting the unbeaten records on the line after sailing through qualification from Group B and C respectively quite easily, some will say. Both teams putting the unbeaten records on the line after sailing through qualification, as I said. Now this is where it gets tougher and trickier. It's the best against the best. Steel sharpening steel, an immovable object against an irresistible force. All games and action in Matola streamed live on FIFA Plus and COSAFA YouTube page, CAF TV and Super Sport TV as well. The respective semi-final lineups. So Coach Enrico Sobrinho is with a youthful side. 16-year-old Palazinho, only 79 minutes in the competition, but he's one of the goal threats, playing from the left-hand side. He plays for Interclub de Angola. Amado leads the line in the number 9 jersey, while Manu from Estrada da Amadora, he's one or two up top there that has played majority of the games. Midfielder Faustino Zacarias, Luis Saisa, back four of Gabriel Paulo Kilman and Sirio. Well, the skipper is in between the six, Domingos da Silva of Atletico Petros da Luanda. For South Africa, Shaquille April, he gets another start from the left wing, preferred over the likes of Khosana, who may feel slightly aggrieved that he's left out of the semi-final starting lineup. His place is taken by Sundowns teammate Kutlwano Letaku, 18-year-old playing from the right wing. Leah Shen slotting back into his striking position, preferred over Antonio Bomela. I think he has not done enough, the Richards Bay young striker, to unseat Leah Shen as the team's go-to goal getter. Chandre Campbell in the position. He's got 2 goals in 177 minutes. Well, Fletcher Lowe is also inserted back into the team for Mazamba. The preferred goalkeeper. Backline Sibiya Mbogazi, Daunyani. Tanner Smith, because due to injury to young Sfiso Timba, he slots in at right back. Khomole Mokekan and Patrick Otata. By the way, that back four includes 3 centre backs. If you throw in Patrick Otata in there, who can slot in if necessary, South Africa are looking defensively solid, but will that take away from their offensive play when they cross the halfway line? A lot of pressure and eyes will be on that young man, Chandre Campbell. It's Palancas Negras, the black sable antelopes of Angola, attacking the goals from right to left in red and black, while Amachita, South Africa's finest, led by Anisek Amtaga, captained by Patrick Otata. They are from left to right in their gold/yellow, touch of green. Itembala Simzans Africa. Both teams, as I said, arguably the 2 top teams in the competition. Some would have preferred to see this as the final for this year's edition, but it's not to be. Of course, the other of the semi-finals sees the 2 Zs. Zimbabwe taking on Zambia. Who will put who to sleep? Who will dish out the ZZZs? Well, ZZZs after the course of 90 minutes. Let's find out together. All the action live from Matola as we wrap up things quite nicely and competitively so, with some semi-final action for you. Nice switch to the left-hand side to find Shaquille April. He's already in combination with Chandre Campbell. I wondered if the likes of Mapena and Emil Fitboy will get a sniff in. The answer is no for Kanisek Amtaka. Campbell starting the tournament playing from right wing is then being preferred in that free role that he mastered so well against Lesotho. So plenty of goal threats in the South African side. Shaquille April sits with a couple of goals. Liana Shed has 2 as well. Chandra Campbell, who's naturally the side's creator, he's also been a goal-getter. He's got 2. Loose possession gives a chance for Palancas Negras to be on the move on the right-hand side through Manu. He's in the wars against Tato Sibia. Sibia fouls him already. Give Angola an early chance to test Fletcher. Lowe's been rock solid at the back, just touching it past him. Tato Sibia had an excellent outing in South Africa's last game, all the group stages. I think secured himself a starting position because of that performance. South Africa beating Comore Islands 2-0. Goals from Mapena and Kosana, both on the bench. A host of players in red looking to attack this. It's a good looking ball, but straight into the brass basket for Fletcher Lowe. Will buoyed by that. That's a sort of catch you want early on with 3 minutes on the clock. That just eases any sort of nerves that may have existed. Movement. Leah Shen drops the shoulder, beats one, gets in the box, takes a tumble, just couldn't keep his balance though. The first 2 moves are par excellence after just losing his footing at a crucial time. He is quite a versatile striker, not one of those that will always stay in the box. As you saw, he popped up on the right wing, created a couple as well for his teammates in exactly the same modus operandi. Look at that. Beat the first man. There was an incoming touch, but the defender was very smart then. How he just moved out the way. I think that may have been Kilma. But the goal threat already evident from Mamachita. This will be the sternest test of the competition. Breeze past Malawi, Lesotho and Comore Islands. Okay, the Comore Islands game wasn't as impressive offensively as Campbell. And once Campbell loses out, looks to the referee, but the referee gives him no love. Hopolang Taunyana tested. Angola's not sitting back here, going for the jugular already. Crosses dugout. Tylon Smith should win that, but on the second ball, blasted into Tylon Smith. That's a very strong block as the chance presented itself for Coach Enrico Sobrinho's team. That was Amado. Had only one thing in mind, and that's to see the top of the net rifle and bulge the power from his shot. Anisega Mdaga, head coach of South Africa. So the referee shot the give free Kanananga. You'll remember the South Africans on the game against Comore Islands was the 4th official in that game, and man oh man, there was no love lost between the South African technical team and him. So I wonder if he's kept that in the back of his mind, as that occurrences of the past to in the present. And South Africa cast their future to the AFCON 2025 under 20 edition, as well as Chile. Still some time away. You need to get the job done here. First touch for Chiefs defender Hopolang Taunyane wasn't preferred at the start. He's now earned his spot as the starting centre back alongside Mbegazela Mbogazi. That's Shaquille April, the dangerous Shaquille April. Moves it ever so nicely to Kutlana Lukaku. South Africa now on the attack. South Africa too easily dispossessed there. Powerful one, Zacharias, 18 years young, of Alpha Club Angola. Comes Shaquille April, who started the game well. Good cross, but no takers. Him and his teammate Leah Sheehan make eye contact, and perhaps the striker just wanted it slightly behind him, but it's good intent. Nice flow to this game. Both teams not starting it on a nervous footing at all. Talon Smith strong, as ever, aerial as expect. One of the lankiest players in the Amachita setup. Just assessing the height advantage, and I think it's slightly in favor of the Angolians. Ever so slightly. Yes, Kukrano the Kak, 1v1 with this defender, cuts in. But on the cover was 19-year-old Luis Saisa. He's though taking one for the team, as his health is in question after that 50-50. Luis Saisa of GD and the club played 180 minutes in the competition. Helped up to his feet by teammate Lucas Paulo of Club Deportivo Taila. Another one who's played every minute of tournament footy. You see there are 2 Angolians on the floor. This is war. This is Africa. This is under 20 Africa Cup of Nations COSAFA qualifier. Nothing given, nothing taken. Ashien makes the run, but the ball goes over his head. Although he's going to fare between much taller opponents in Lucas Paulo and Kioma. Tower over him. If we add Luis Sais as well as the central defensive midfielder, that's a good idea from Leah Shen. Spotted the run of Shaquille April. All just ahead of him though. April thinks about the cross, but we'll see there's 3 red shirts to the one of Leah Shen. Campbell's touches not as we've come to expect from Club NXT player. Campbell making it into the group stage. Under 20 best 11. We got Chandra Campbell of South Africa. Kelvio Neves of Mozambique. Those are 2 attackers. Up top, well, David Sikumwenda of Zambia slots into midfield alongside Botswana captain Philip Kaku. Just behind him is Begazele Mbogasi. South African captain Petro Kotata makes it in the team with Moteo Mohapi of Botswana. An inclusion. Talon Smith, Lucas Paulo of Angola, and Alan Chapinduka are the preferred 3 defenders, with Fletcher Lowe completing the team for the group stage under 20 best 11. Of course, we still need to come up with the team of the tournament. Speaking of team, Angola's left back Dario Gabriel is slowly getting up on his feet. Ball kicked out to ensure that he gets medical attention. Very groggily gets up, but signals to the bench that he's okay to continue. Fletcher Lowe, 17 years of age, the youngest of the starting 11, but he's not the youngest of the traveling squad that are now before us. Siabonga Mapena, who's 16, as well as Emil Witboy, who's yet to turn 17. Angola early on flooding the midfield and not giving any passing channels to find Patrick Ogdata, Chandra Campbell and Khomolomo Kekana. I don't think Kekana has touched the ball as yet. In 11 minutes now for Stinho. Goes to the left for Manu. Turns 18 in 6 days' time. backing into his man as Manu against Sibiya, who just disdainfully pushes him out the way. South Africa emerge with the ball. Here's Pirates as Mbogazi, one of two players that have played the most amount of minutes of anybody in the South African side. That honor before to Patrick Otata, 248 minutes for the captain. Megazele Mbogazi, the most at 270. He has moved his defense around. Qaniseka Mbogazi, Megazele, no, Qaniseka Mdaga, I should say. Mbogazi played at left back against Lesotho. That's a trip by Campbell. Tyrone Smith started at centre back alongside Megazele Mbogazi in the first game against Malawi. Petru Katata played at right back against Comore Islands. So he has tried a few combinations, but this is the one that he settled on. I think Tyrone Smith probably would have been on the bench had it not been for an injury to his Fiso Timba after coming on in the second half and injuring his right hamstring. He is on the bench. I saw him warming up. There's Taunyana Smith, arguably one of the best right backs in the competition. Timba, up until that injury. Mbogazi sees space for Tato Sibiya. Beats the first man, Shaquille April, always going to cut in. Once the quick 1-2 with Leah Shen needs to be stronger as a Cape Town City striker. Lost possession too cheaply on a few occasions. On the move is Luis Sainsa. Gives it to Zakaresh. Angola looking comfortable in the attack here. Can they get a crossing angle? The answer is no. Tyrone Smith again reading the danger exceptionally well. Smith himself looking to add to his 203 minutes. He's third on the list of most minutes in the legs of a South African player. Enrique Sobrinho's team quietly going about their business, ensuring that they dominated Group B and emerged as the winners in that group. A three-team group. We saw Zambia and Namibia. They are victims over the course of the group stage games. Angola picking up full points from the complement of 180 minutes of COSAFA Qualifier. Only conceded once and scored 4 times during those 2 games. Very impressive record, but nobody has been as steely and stingy as Amachita. 0 goals conceded in 3 games, 13 goals scored in return. That's almost a perfect record, but that won't mean anything if you don't beat today's opponents in a match that really counts just over the opening quarter of an hour. Kilma in space ahead of him, Zakaresh. First time pass back to central defensive midfielder Seisa, who stopped pretty deep in opening exchanges to protect that back four. They know the danger that Chandre Campbell and co possess. Good movement here from Palancas Negras. Faustino. Good control, but can they beat the press? Oh, beautiful work, Saisa. 19-year-old midfielder shown real good signs as Taunyane has to do some defending the round rush from Amado. They were confident, composed, calculated, in their approach there, Angola. Dishing out a bit of Amajita magic. That's what they do to most teams. South Africa control possession, lure you in and then hit you quickly through the wings majority of the time. It's a different test this for Coach Aniseka Mtaga and his team. They won a group with Malawi, Comoros and Lesotho, finished with 9 points. The only side to do so from the participating 11. Malawi and Comoro Islands both shared 3 points. Lesotho also ended up with 3 points. Two Angola players down. Oof. Ran into each other. Pauzinho and Amado. Both TKO'd. Don't think they're going to be sitting together on the bench. On the team bus. If they are unable to recover. Amado up on his feet, that's good to see. An 18-year-old striker has 1 goal in 172 minutes. And South Africans deep in conversation, led by Kukrano Letlako of Sundowns.
Thanks for management, right?
Game restarts. The centre backs of Amachita. Campbell dropping deep to make play. There's Campbell going wider and wider, looking for options. Still Campbell. Oh, great movement and passing. Lukaku looks for the reverse pass for Leah Shen. How well did Chandra Campbell do that? Very limited options on, but he was a man working with a plan. It should be picked up by Patrick Otata. Moves it for Sundowns player Khomole Mokekana. As Shakil April gets the first save out of keeper Silva. Yes, Campbell on the volley, another save. Domingos da Silva, spectacular. The South Africans thought they would have scored from one of those 2 chances. Chandra Campbell catching it clean. Echo rocket from his left foot, but the 18-year-old skipper El Capitano sees the score still disturbed. First, Shaquille April's shot to the right. Keeper spreads himself, gets up quickly. Cross dug out by Sibia. Campbell in the right place at the right time with the right finish, but how about that? 2 world-class saves for Domingos da Silva. He's dumb, man. Wow, and such a high-stakes, high-pressure game. It's attention to detail. The devil is in the detail that will differentiate between the winners and the losers, between pain and pleasure. A win and a loss. To come again. There's the confidence going to be flooding through the veins now, given motivation by the latest attack. Tyler Smith, Patrick Otata. That's rifled there by Tyler Smith and then loses out possession. But Lukaku will make a nuisance of himself and then get reward via a throw-in. Goda scoring 4 from their 2 games, conceding 1, like I said. Started the tournament with a 3-1 win against Zambia. Goals from Haidara Pedro and Enogo from Zambia's Chanda, securing a comfortable day 1 victory. South Africa were more than comfortable, they were cruising. Here's Ashen. Quickly onto him was Lucas Paulo, not giving him a sniff at all. They won 5-0 on day 1, did South Africa. April getting a brace. Shen got one, Kaku and Mbogazi to complete the route. Nice reverse pass here. Sibia sits his man down. Sibia, can he get the pass away? He was on the stretch. The first part he did extremely well. South Africa then followed it up on Sunday with a 6-0 demolition job of the opponents. Lesotho. Shane again on the score sheet. Campbell announcing himself. That's that initial skill work there from Tato Sibia. Just chopping it back, selling the defender a dummy. Mofoka got an own goal for Lesotho, the goalkeeper. I remember that diabolical moment between himself and midfielder, and Kaku and Timba completing the shesh. Winning margin. Almost repeating their highest ever winning margin in the competition. 7-0 set back in 2020. It's the very same opponent, South Africa and Lesotho. Angola won 1-0 against Namibia in game 2. And South Africa in their final group stage game mixed things up. A few new players getting minutes, and it showed. They looked disjointed a bit, but they still got the job done. 2-0 goals from Apena and Khosana enough. Here comes the corner. And this is where we find ourselves in the first semi-final. That was their road to the semi-final outside of the foot pass. Shaquille April, the goalkeeper da Silva, get there, he does. From distance, Sibia thinks about it, but opts against the more circumspect approach. Simple pass to the left will suffice to Shaquille April. Jandre Campbell in a lot of space just outside your picture on the edge of the box. Big switches on to April. Beautiful pass from April to Campbell. As Campbell cuts in, sets up the shot, doesn't catch it cleanly. Almost turned out to be a lucky pass to Leah Shin, who's controlling him down. 6 to play before the half hour. South Africa now starting to get more and more into this game. Angola doing more defensive work than attacking as the minutes ebb through the sands of time. Turn from Lukaku, looks for the reverse pass to Liashen. Clearly that's the way to go for the South Africans. Look to turn the Angolan defense around every time. Just little smart passes around the sides of the defense or over. But they've stood firm, led by Domingos da Silva. Smith, not really known for his attacking play. Adam Smith is a pure defender. Nice pass. Here's Lukaku. Beats one. Lukaku. Shaquille April is open. Now it's Leah Shen, in fact. Yes, Shen opens the scoring. The young South African draws level with Kelvin Neves. He's been waiting for the chance. The clever striker peeled away from the defender and found that all-important finish. Amachita up and running. 5 minutes to play. He says, "Muito obrigado," with love from South Africa. That's the definition of a true striker's goal. His movement created it. His mind shaped it. His left foot finished it. Look at that, just peeled away from the defender. Moved it to the left-hand side. And then got it away. Domingos da Silva did get something behind it, but not enough. Oh, Leah Shen adds to his tournament tally. He is now a level of Kelvin Neves of Mozambique. On 3 goals. 3 goals. They had been coming a little bit. Angola, after that initial strong start, they started falling into their own shell there. Defending more and more. South Africa picking up a head of steam. Otata. That's the definition of a tournament striker there from Liashen. Hadn't had the best 25 minutes building up to that goal. Had a few errant touches in the box and was being bullied a little bit by Lucas Paulo and Kiuma. But put that out of his mind like any true killer in front of goals. He had ice in his veins when the opportunity presented itself and stood steadfast and had mental fortitude when it counted the most, when the side needed a savior. Data, he's starting to feature more and more in the game as well. I think that's been the rise of South Africa in this game. Data and Gekana controlling midfield a bit more, giving possession to the troublesome Shakil April. Look at that, battling away for his country. The ball suspiciously looking out there. It's a corner. Tenacious work from the 18-year-old Shakil April. He's put his hand up as well as potential candidate for player of the tournament. Goes back post to Mbogazi. How's Campbell's control? Sensational under pressure. Goes to Mbogazi! Oh! The pass was good. The movement exceptional from Mbogazi. Just could not add that exclamation dot to South Africa's current dominance. Angola's bench worried, unmoved. Their veins or their faces resembling pain under the pressure. Mbogazi hung in the air. Under no pressure, really should have done better, but it was close. Here come Angola now. Fletcher Lowe called into a save by Manu. Flag is up. But we have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, the top two teams going toe to toe. Has provided exactly the sort of exciting game we expected. Fletcher Lowe showing the same expertise with Domingos da Silva earlier, although that save was a bit more easier than the ones Domingos da Silva had to pull off. That had to be at full stretch. Fletcher Lowe quarter stretch there. Lukaku, almost getting away from a Faustino. Here's Campbell now growing into this game. Looks for the run from Lukaku. Decides against it. Stays on side as Lukaku. Was always going to get it back on his favorite left foot. Campbell with an air shot in a good position. High football IQ, Chandre Campbell. You saw how you got the space that he started. Ashen with the reverse pass to April. Here's April! Straight down the throat of Domingos da Silva. The South Africans are beginning to cook now. And it's turning out to be a braai. But Palancas Negras, Angola, no pushovers. This game is by far not yet done. The job is not yet done. The work is still in transit. Coming into this competition, South Africa's second best team in terms of most amount of wins, behind powerhouses Zambia. It's that shot with the use of his instep. That's 63%. I think it's grown now in this tournament, given the fact that they got 9 points from 3 games, had not conceded, have scored what is now a tournament high for the South Africans in 14 goals from 4 games. So overall, it sees them at 81 goals, a touch over 30 games. That's the most of anybody in the last 6 tournaments. And still having only conceded 20. Sees their win ratio now pushed to 68% from prior 63. It's 20 wins from 30 games. If you include this one, it could be 21 and 28. Zambia 71% from 28 games prior to the tournament. Simon Smith on the chest. Chandra Campbell will have a player on him quickly. They've recognized the danger. They're starting to double up on him now. If they didn't know about Chandra Campbell, now they know. 2 Angolan players in conversation with the official this near side. Not impressed by the call. Tadeu Gabriel with teammate Manu. I think that's a indication of frustration. They've not been able to dominate the game as they did against Zambia and Namibia. That's a clear foul there from the 19-year-old. Plays for Atletico Petras de Olunda. Out in Angola. One of the players from Angola play their football in Angola. Not like teams we've seen like Como Islands. Pretty much 95% of the team play in France, not in the Como Islands. Zimbabwe's got a couple of players out in the UK. Here's Club Brugge loanee Chandra Campbell. He's in Belgium. Campbell as well as goalkeeper Fletcher Lowe, the only 2 of this year's squad applying the trade in South Africa. Fletcher Lowe out at Astoria Pride. Sibia needs to get a hurry up. Silky work from Tato Sibia. Shaquille Pele shown real fine. Not blessed with considerable physique, but what he lacks in physicality makes up in heart and skill. Kiuma, complete contrast. He's a towering force. There's Tadeu Gabriel. The press is on by Leah Shen. They do great work to Angola. Just to move from defense, attempting to break into the half of South Africa. Kekana on the turn. Midfield maestro. Smith. Odata with the first time pass. Lukaku with the into-out run. Here's Lukaku. He's got no right foot, but he cuts it back. Skipped by Ashen. Campbell is second best to the ball. Again, intent, intricate creativity from Amachita. Yakali piano matota. Yakala. Nice little clip ball. Tylon Smith's touch is also good to take it away from the defender. Overpowered by Manu. That shouldn't happen given the size difference. Amado. Odata. That looked like a foul there from Lucas Paulo. Running into the back of Leah Shen. And then being told off by Kiuma. Get up and play football. This is not the Oscars. 9.5 to play for referee Nkankananga's half-time whistle. Tyler Smith, a lot of the attacks saturated on this right wing. They've identified where Taru Gabriel is working from. His working space is their working space. Campbell, 1v1 with Manu. Campbell. That was too nonchalant there from the left-footed playmaker, who I do think his eventual position will be in the 10 role. I think it was one of those, you give him a free role and let him be creative. You give him a coloring book and say cut outside the box. Yeah, the frustration growing in Angolan ranks. Look at Kioma, 18-year-old centre-back, not accustomed to this sort of pressure, incessant pressure from Amachita. They have not moved at all, that Angolan bench. Feeling uncomfortable, I think, in those leather seats here at the Laje Arena. Vami Chupara, as my colleague says. Nice pass. Where's the support? It comes slowly, but it does arrive. The cavalry looks over his shoulder for Stinho. South Africa fall back into a bank of fours. 2 banks of that. Cross from Gabriel. Data back there to defend. Good box-to-box midfielder. The Chicks Galaxy player Patrick Otata. In the box is a collision. Flag stays down. Angola's cry has fallen on deaf ears.
Delay. Remember to delay.
The referee Kangananga says Jogar, play on. Nothing to see. He's copying a bit of criticism though from the Angolan bench. You would expect that from the respective benches, especially when calls go against you. The VAR check is complete, by the way. That is in effect. Nice to see the continent of Africa is also touching base with international best practices. Here's a closer look. Sibia just behind the man. Not enough for a penalty there. Jogar, play on. Kioma. For the first time in a long time, the Angolians on the bench and feeling comfortable. That's comfortably sensational. Turn there from Luis Saisa. Manu. In fact, that one is Palazinho. Paizinho. Won't have enough legs to keep that in. They've tried a few times to attack that right side of Tato Sibia, but finding a tricky work experience. It made to look like a couple of interns on that right side. Sibia expertly paroling the left wing of Amachita. Yes, Petro Kotata put under considerable pressure. Captain asking Malawian ref if he did not see a player with a handful of his shirt crossed out by left back Gabriel. He's not had that final product when crossing the halfway line for Angola. I think that would be one of the talking points from referee Enrico Sobrinho. Need to give Amado some service. Of course, Angola hoping to make history in this competition. seeking to win the regional title for the first time in their history. Matola. They have reached the semi-finals in 7 of the previous 8 editions, but advanced to the final only once in that time, where they lost out to Zelia Zambians in 2011. You know, 3 deciders in a row between 2000, 2002, and then again in 2011. And that 2-1 loss to Zambia yet again. They must be sick on the side of Chipolo Polo. Into the last 2 minutes of this first half. It's been an exceptional and enthralling watch, truth be told. The first yellow card being brandished by referee Kankananga. Who is that to? Is that to Olois Saisa? Well, the man on the floor, they're getting up slowly. He'll be met by the color yellow. It was Leah Shen, the man receiving the caution. There's Zagarash, Zaisa, Gabriel, run provided by Manu. We've seen that quite often. The pass not calculated to perfection from the Angolan ball players. That was a goal again. Look at the first touch, you set it up. The second was equally as impressive. And I think on second viewing, Domingos da Silva would drop his head in disappointment. The shot was straight at him, but maybe had far too much pace. Yeah, look at that. He had come out to close the angle, but he shortened. In him shortening the distance, it quickened the pace at which it came at him. Beautiful touch there from Kekana. Was being pulled. Referee Kangananga quickly on the crime scene, keeping a lid on things. There's a Malawian hard taskmaster. Machita would just want to see out this half, and they will know they have 1 foot in this year's final. I'll say it again, Angola are no easy team to get rid of. The Central Africans have been central to all things impressive in the competition. Quatro minutos, 4 minutes.
Additional time, 4 minutes. Tempo adicional, 4 minutos.
Corpo atrás, mano, corpo atrás. Absente jogador.
Kekana up against Saisa. I think he started to win that battle. Saisa initially at the better of the 2 South Africans. The SCB again just did enough onto Pazinho, who's finding it extremely difficult to get any change out of the South African left back. We saw the reserves warming up. Vitboy Mapena, as well as Kosa Manyana. The 3 possible changes we may see in the second half. Smith. A sensational vision there from Smith, and then Leah Shen looks to unleash Shaquille April. Keeper Domingos da Silva aware of the danger and quickly off his line. They really do have the telepathic understanding. Leah Shen and Shaquille April, both representatives of the citizens out in the mother city. They are showing brotherly love and a brotherly connection. Play for Cape Town City. Not happy is Coach Sobrinho. I think this should be more critical of his own team's performance, rather the officials. They've played in segments, but that's naturally what happens in a competitive football game. The momentum changes hands over the course of 90-some minutes. And we've seen in the course of 45 minutes, Angola starting off the stronger of the two opponents. South Africa grappling and coming to terms with what they had to offer, and then exerting their own game plan and their will on Palankas Negras.
Gol para atrás, Gaika. Segunda bola. Fecha. Vai, mano, aperta.
Into the last few seconds of additional time. April, was he onside? Yes, he was. Delicate touch for Sibia. Sibia and April connecting well on that left side. Uncompromisingly booted away by Paolo. Won't want his side to concede so late in the second half. That will be a spirit crusher for the Central African side. First time pass to find the run of April. South Africans wanted play to continue. They knew they had an advantage. Shaquille April having found space. But referee Godfrey Mkangananga says it is done, gents. It was 4 minutes of injury time, and that's exactly what I gave you. What are you complaining about? Well, there's not much to complain from the South Africans outside of the opening 15 minutes. They've been really good. In a very tight, competitive game, they've been able to crack the matrix of Angola. The halftime break, it's the Southern Africans leading the Central African team of Angola 1-0 at halftime.
Daqui a mais de pouco voltamos para a segunda parte deste grande encontro entre South África e Angola. Estamos no ritmo do intervalo com música e entretenimento para todos animar nesta grande semifinal. Já sabe que daqui a mais um pouco vamos jogar mais 45 minutos de muito bom futebol, muito bom espetáculo e a decisão final ao sábado. Enquanto isso, a vida está a dar. Não se esqueçam de seguir então as nossas páginas oficiais no Facebook, no Twitter e também no Instagram. Basta escrever apenas COSAFA e fica por dentro de tudo um pouco que acontece dentro e fora das quatro linhas. Estamos em direto para o mundo através das redes sociais e também dos principais canais.
Quando forem pontualmente 15 horas, teremos a segunda semifinal. Amanhã finalíssima, no sábado finalíssima, mas hoje às 15 horas joga Zimbábue contra Zâmbia.
We still have Zimbabwe and Zambia sweeping in right today. Don't miss it.
Foi todo mundo da bola, vamos a bola,
Kosa, let's move. We have 5 seconds. We have 5 seconds. Ask if you can watch it. I was saying you ask Maria if you can start.
The second half of semi-final 1 underway. The battle against Palancas Negras of Angola. Winners of Group B against winners of Group C in South Africa. Amachita in the lead after a third goal of the tournament for Leah Shen, expertly put away by the young striker to give Kalisega Mtaga's side the upper hand at the start of the second half. He's now playing from the left-hand side at the start of the second half. It's a late tackle by Mbegazele Mbogazi. South Africa starting with Leah Shen up top. Shaquille April and Kutlano Lukaku on either side of the wings. Shandre Campbell dropping into the creative engine. Just behind him, Khomolo Mokekan and Patrick Otata. 18-year-old left back Tato Sibia getting a chance as part of the back four that includes Mbegazele Mbogazi, Khopolang Taonyana, the Chiefs and a Pirates centre back playing together. The two old foes coming together in unison for the hopes and Itemba le South Africa. Tyrone Smith, the Stellenbosch centre back, stepping into an unfamiliar position at right back. Fletcher Lowe in between the sticks, pulled off a superb save from Manu in around the half-hour mark. While for Angola was Amaro, Manu and Palazinho in the front three positions. In midfield, Faustina Zakaria, she was outstanding in the opening exchanges. Here's a touch from Campbell to April, and a shot for the 18-year-old Luis Saez. Another of that midfield trio. At the back, Daurio Gabriel, Lucas Paulo, the 18-year-old Asa, centre back Kilma. Right back is Celio, while captain Domingo da Silva in between the sticks, pulled off two sensational saves back to back to keep the scoreline at 1-0. That's when South Africa, I think after that attempt from Shaquille April and Shandre Campbell, started seeing the belief seeping through their veins. They have held firm ever since. Yes, Tyron Smith with that adventurous run has no crossing targets. Arrived a bit late. Shandre Campbell thinks about the shot. Can't find Shaquille April. Sold him short there. Good block by Khomolo Makekana. If you're joining us, we are live on FIFA Plus, Super Sport TV, CAF TV, as well as streaming on COSAFA's YouTube page. This is the first of two semi-finals. The other, it's Chipolo Polo taking on Zimbabwe. Zambia versus Zimbabwe. Mighty Warriors winning Group A. Well, Zambia were the best place finishers from the group that included Angola and Namibia. Boraz. Cool as you like, but overdid it a little bit. Out of position as Taonyane covers. Smith steps into the position evacuated by Boraz. A good block by Sibia. April comes deep to help out and then finds the out ball to the right to Sundowns. Kutlano Lukaku. Calls for a foul. Fall on deaf ears. VAR is in effect in the semi-final. We will be seeing it. Any debatable moments or moments of question deciphered by the VAR room. Maria Revet as well as Terol Nyerenda of Zambia doing duty in the way around headquarters. Kekana just off balance. Lucas Paulo uncompromising in his defending. Beautiful work from Luis Saiz as a really talented midfielder. It's a skillful turn from Zacharias. Angola, I think, just stopped believing in themselves a little bit when momentum shifted to South Africa. So they'll want to remind themselves what they did in the opening 50 minutes as they put Amachita under pressure. Speaking of pressure, that's Shaquille April putting in the block. Amaro didn't see an awful lot of the 18-year-old Asa striker Amaro. He's one of the goal threats, the main goal threats in Amaro and Paizinho. Gotta say it again, periphery of this game. Sub is about to come on for Polangas Negras. Player that stood up about to join us, Francisco Chiquinho of FA. Played only 8 minutes. Man taking off is Luis Saiz. That's a bit of a head scratcher that. He's had a really good game, Luis Saiz, but he's taken out. And I want for more creativity. And Francisco Chiquinho. Oh, okay, let's see if that works out for Henrique Sobrinho. Chiquinho, who's 19 years of age, a forward for FAA out in Angola. Those 8 minutes split over 2 games, by the way. Foul on Utata. April. Bit of space for Letaku. Good block. Kilma. Open up so nicely there for Kuklana Letaku. It wasn't too convincing in his strike. Wasn't the cleanest of connections. Nice pass to find Zacharias. With Saisa off a lot. Other play will be hopefully led by Zacharias and Faustinha. Responsibility passed on to them. As Sibia is reacquainted with the grass here at the La G Arena. That won't be for the last time. Real big physical element in this tournament. The youngsters do not hold back at all. Speaking of physical, he's a physical specimen as Mbega Zelemboraz. Look at that. Got the packs out as well. I see Ashen not going to win too many headers against Kilma. Acrobatically, the second time of asking clears. Smith. The pass to Campbell. The midfield combination of Utata and Kekana is working really well. There's Kekana with the first time pass around the corner. In for Lazola Maaku. Super Sport United. Maisho booked twice against Comoro Islands. He's virtually missing out in this game. I think he would have started out of Kekana. That's Shaquille April. What a pass by Miguel Zelembogazi. Ashen misses. Campbell hits the crossbar. South Africa can't finish. The frustration from the Angolan bench. Always that relief. Assistant coach Karama Mokhodi says switch on and keep calm. They thought that was the second. What a pass to set them away by Megazele Mbogazi just over the top, finds the round of Leah Shen, who then cut it back on the 45. Here's the Taku going on. A whisk away from doubling their tally. From the earlier chance, firstly to Ashen and then Campbell. Angola open up far too easily on that one. I think the clever movement of Shaquille April, who darts to the left on the outside and then dart inside, has really pulled Tadu Gabriel all over the show. And Celio has had to deal with him. Or Tadu has had to deal with Kutlano Lekako. I think he's done a better job than Celio. Can't get the 1-2 going between Campbell and Sibia. Here's Manu. Shane misses, and almost unwittingly sets up Campbell. Was sharp, expecting the chance. Here comes April, the scourge of Palancas Negras. Cool defending Paulo. But the preamble comes back again. Campbell should have kept that one simple. It was a real chance for a 1-2 back to him, and he would have cleaned through on goal. Double block while on the ground for the new man, Chiquinho. And a foul. Sibia just gets the head of Celio. Still Sibia battling away against two Angolan players. April pulled back there. Referee missed that. Zacarias has Otata for company, passes it through the legs of April. First time pass from the Kambas FC player, Celio. Celio steps aside past Sibia, but Sibia's like a bull terrier. You don't get rid of him easy. Now it's Chiquinho. On the flank, Amaro. Manu giving that free roll. It's been everywhere in the pitch. His heat map would show to the left, to the right, and the center. Takes a gamble. Relegated to shots from outside the box. Angola fell to the wrong man, Kilma. Not known for his goal scoring. Angola, their last tournament, they finished fourth in 2022. Third 2 years prior. In fact, it was two third-place finishes between 2020 and 2019, include 2018 as well. Group stages was the best that they could accomplish in 2017. The South Africans, they came third as well in 2022. Runners-up in 2019 and double winners between 2017 and 18. Wow, okay. Referee telling the players to pick up their socks. Quite sure about that one. You do have the option of keeping your socks whichever way you want them. You normally, why notice that now, approaching the hour, when they've been doing that throughout the game? All right, there's that one from referee Gangananga. Mentioned that one of the more pedantic officials here. Bogazi, anywhere will do. Cross dug out by Gabriel. Gabriel playing for Atletico Petrolas de Lunda. Representatives from all across the Central African nation of Angola. Asa football is represented. Estrela da Amadora is also represented. GD Interclub also has a few players on the Angolan side. Interestingly, the Angolan Premier League, better known as Girabola, led by Ulete. 3 wins from 3 games. So Petro de Lunda just 3 points behind them in second. Del Gusto in third. Petro de Lunda winning yesterday 2-1 away from home against Isaac de Bengola. At the Stadio Nacional de Ombaka. The Sportivo Dahuela, they find themselves at the bottom of the log with no points, including the likes of Lunda Sul and Santa Rita. 4 points, or 4 teams in the bottom 4 yet to win. Girabola. Amado spent a lot of times on the wings, not in the kitchen, being the width of the goal frame. That's where the most strikers get a lot of their goals. Is that going to be a card? And Silent Smith leapt really well, but maybe may have need Manu in the back there in the process of jumping. It was all accidental. Just over the hour, a goal by Leah Shen still separates these two sides on the first semi-final. Yeah, it was a definite knee in the back of Manu. That's painful. And like I said, all eyes on the ball for Tylon Smith, the young Stellenbosch defender. His Stellenbosch team in the Betway Premiership out in South Africa in 8th position after 3 games. Draw, win, and a loss for Steve Barker's side, who have a big influence of youth in their first side. A lot of players that play in the reserve league. A team led by Vegelos Velios do have a pathway to the first team. The likes of Devin Titus, Tylon Smith, Sichi, and Janet Adams, all haven't come through the reserve league and got in pro contracts. Stellenbosch Football Club playing out in the Winelands. Got a big game tomorrow against Orlando Pirates. Here's a chance. Fletcher Lowe spreads himself. Extremely superb glove work there from Fletcher Lowe. Great athleticism. Would have saw that late. First chance of the second half for Angola. Here's Leah Shen. Here's Leah Shen. That will be dealt with on the line. It was goal bound. Almost a second for Amachita. On the other end of the pitch, a save from Fletcher Lowe. Quickly they went up. And Leah Shell looked to chip the keeper from some distance out. Boy, he knows his way to the goal. As I was mentioning, the big final out in South Africa, the MTN 8 Orlando Pirates in Stellenbosch at the Moses Mabhida Stadium here in Durban. Capital of the KZN. Kekana losing his footing.
Hey, play the ball. Okay, play the ball.
Assim, vamos, Paizinho. Mais curto, Ludi. Mais curto. Kilma, mais curto.
Here's the Lukaku. Wonder if he's on borrowed time. I think we will see his teammate Khosana come on at some point. Nice reverse pass in the direction of April. But Kilma has read that. Kekana. Lots of space for Lukaku. That's a heavy looking pass to Ashen. Rifled it in the direction of the striker. Campbell. Too strong for his opponent, Bazinho. Paolo only knows one way, and that's front foot defending. About to make another substitute. Malancas Negras. And then coming off is Bazinho. I'm not shocked there. He's been shackled by Tato Sibia all game. So they've gone for a different personnel in Lorenco Velesso. He is on shot. Velesso of Santa Rita Rasasia. As a forward. Probably will play from the wing. Attacked by Tyler Smith. Velesso, 18 years of age, turned 18 on the 16th of August. Can he do better where Bazinho failed?
Just focus, but you focus on the block of players. I will tell you when there is a kick, I will just say kick. Don't worry about the kick. I will just say kick. Focus on the block of players,
The in swinger from Campbell goes high as he tends to do when he is on set piece duty. He's not having a direct shot on goal. It's been a spectacular goal against Lesotho. Yes, Ashen. Domingos da Silva always had the advantage of being able to use his hands. Tyler Smith got a save out of da Silva there. New man Veloso. April. April has been sizzling in this game. Sensationally sizzling. Campbell. That's a good idea. Waited for April to get into space. Just couldn't thread the ball through. Difficult pass to make. Smith losing his footing, but gets back, gets in position. Expertly so. The next goal in this game is going to be so crucial. Importance of the next goal cannot be understated, because it either gives South Africa more control or gives Angola hope.
Play on.
That was poor there from Gabriel. Doing well was Chandre Campbell out in defense. Mbogazi gives opponents back the advantage of hemming South Africa in their own half. Can they find the pass to further their ambitions here? Amado's not been able at all to get anything out of the centre backs of South Africa. Mbogazi and Taunyan have had him in his back pocket, have had him in their collective back pockets. Petro Kotata has vision. Shaquille April with a touch of an angel. Here's April. Passes man easily. Ball just behind Leah Shen. Always going to be a difficult pass for the striker to collect and then bring under his control, because it was in and around his midriff. Fired in as well. Here's Campbell. Dana Smith has a chance to cross. and shows why he's a centre-back, playing at right back there, that cross. Sibia. My goodness, man, this boy is good. Sibia, no mistake, 90 minutes, Sibia. So good 1v1. Pitch beginning to chop up a bit. This is match 15 of the competition. A number of games haven't been played here. Of course, it's also the training ground and home ground of home side Associa Black Bulls. Gets up out of the back post. Had an advantage over Veloso of height, but straight at Domingos da Silva, if we're being honest. Oh, Tata. Daonyana needs to get a hurry up. Daonyana too nonchalant, and then putting Kekana in the corner in a tight place. He took one for the team. That was poor there from Hopolang Daonyana. Daonyana gets the yellow card along with Leah Shen of South Africa. That may quicken the thought process of Kaniseka Mdaga, the coach of South Africa, and making those changes with this key midfielder and a yellow card. Osamanyana, maybe the man soon to join us. Here's a set piece in a good position for Angola. We haven't said that too many times in this game. Into the last 19 minutes here at La G Arena. Place in this year's Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations COSAFA Qualifier. Being a place in the finals of the competition. Yeah, it's always for there in the end from Angola. That's a foul against Campbell. This game so evenly poised on a knife edge. Angola pushing, but getting nothing in return thus far. Set pieces might just be their way back in here. Well, the South African just waiting on the prowl. Like a leopard just stalking the prey, waiting for that one chance to go in for the kill. Fletcher Lowe comes out. That's 2 fists to that. Angola return through Paulo. What is he doing there? SCB Shen can't control. Hasn't been as involved in the second half as Leah Shen. A pass to Manu, just on the edge of the box. Here's Zacharias joining in the attack. Is right back Celia on his left foot. Kekana. right in front of his eyesight, eye line. Zacharias, as he lined one up. Will he be also be pulling the trigger? Now some pressure, the squeeze put on by Palancas Negras. But Amachita's wall stands firm. Kola Machita. Machita for Machita. Campbell. Always seems to have time on the ball. Never flustered. I think sometimes his decision-making execution may just let him down. But he's only 19 years of age. Recently turned 19 early in the year. Still a long way for him to go. Siabonga Mapena warming up. He may be coming on soon. 16-year-old Sundowns prodigy. Taunyana. Otata did extremely well, but put under pressure by Zacharias. Here's Campbell from the right wing, looks for a delicate cross. To Liashin, keeper Domingos da Silva, not for the first time, reached the danger and handles it by himself for his team. Here's Mbogazi, that's a foul there from Mbegezele Mbogazi. Needless giveaway there. The opponent was going away from goal. Ref keeps his cards in his back pocket. But we'll get out the foam spray. Foul on Manu. Nova Estrada da Amadora.
Avança mais pouco, Ced. A segunda bola, yeah. Boa.
Free kick to be taken by Zacharias. I think the South Africans making some mistakes in giving Angola free kicks in and around the box. You're almost attracting the danger towards yourself in doing so. We've relegated Angolians from shots outside the box. They've rarely been able to create inside the box. Yes, Celio. Not convincing at all. That one from the training ground. Perhaps needs more training. Referee Mkananga saying the ball was in motion when it was taken, so it needs to be retaken. Last 12 minutes now. South Africa 1 foot in the ASEAN final. Hold up play by Amado. Wants to keep his hands to himself.
No.
Not put a foot wrong at all, Tato Sibia. Bit of a slip from Zacharias. I think we may be seeing subs ready for South Africa. Angola have made 2. Veloso as well as Shinquinho. Oh, the pass was on. Lia Shen forced to the turf. Here's Campbell. Oh, he tried to chip the keeper from that angle. That is confidence on another level. Wasn't much on as well for him, so I don't blame him. It's a cheap giveaway. Kekana, simple pass to the right. Kano Lukaku. Shaquille April has switched sides momentarily. is on the ground. Letaku with a chance to shoot. Has not had his shooting boots on at all today. Skied. April still injured on the floor. But he's okay to continue. Shaquille April signed a pro contract with the men's senior first team a few weeks ago. And who played 4 matches in the season gone by for the men's senior side. Also had a solitary run out in the cup competitions, that being the Telkom knockout. Here's Amado. Only one passing option on Manu. Amado gives an option. Cleared away by Taunyana. Angola not really convincing, man, in terms of the attack. I don't see a clear pattern of how they want to break down South Africa outside of going to the right wing every single time. It's April and South Africa, I think, have worked that out. And they probably attacking the side that has been the hardest to break down, where Tato Sibia has been operating foul on Elia Shen. Siabonga Mapena coming on for Chandre Campbell, as we predicted. From one virtuoso to another wonder kid. 119, the other 16. Representing Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club under the unified banner of South Africa. Siabonga Mapena in steps. A child genius. Brenner only turning 17, I should say, on February 18. An amazing story he has. A player honed from the School of Excellence out in South Africa that's produced a number of world-class talents. Here's Mapena. His first thought was to put one top corner with his first involvement in the game. Here's Angola. Referee's whistle brings an end to that. A move. Mabena hasn't featured for the senior side. Now this season he's been doing a lot of his play for Mamelodi Sundowns' reserve league side out in South Africa. Last season he played a handful of games, about 12 of them, majority of those in the league. Played 9 times, scored once. Here's Mapena. Ashen. Pass to Mapena. Mapena. Selfish there from Mapena though. Better options to the right. Showing his age. Still yet to turn 18. That was childlike approach there. Good defending, Taunyana. South Africa need to find the second goal if they are to be more comfortable approaching the last 6 minutes. With Amachita having qualified for the Africa Under-20 championship on 8 previous occasions, winning the silver medal in 1997, finishing third in 2019, and also have 2 fourth-place finishes between 2009 and 2017. They went all the way to the final on home soil in 2016, playing some exceptional and scintillating football. Losing out to Zambia in the decider with a 2-1 defeat, though. They could not make it a hat-trick of titles. They lost 3-0 in the 2019 final to Zambia, so want to relinquish those memories in 2024. They were disappointing 4 years ago with their first group stage exit in almost a decade. We win over Lesotho 7-0, still the highest win margin in the competition, was coupled with draws against Zimbabwe and Mozambique. Finished runners-up in the pool. And to the last 2 minutes, Angola needs to reply. Here's Zacharias Amado. Not been able at all to get a cross past Sibia, who for me is probably edged others for a man of the match award. But again, it's not up to me. 2 Angolan players coming on. First in is Berbanet Tomas of William Bengula. Faustina replaced. The other player is Ibrahim Boubacar. Ibra is on. And Tomas as well. What can Tomas and Ibra come up? Many doubting Tomas currently, if you look at the scoreline. Rises high. That's Kilma. Can't keep the ball though under the crossbar. Chance wasted. There's that outswing earlier into the head of Kioma. Fletcher Law, I think, had that covered though. Still the South African coach keeping majority of the team is started with only changing Siabanga Mapena, inserting Mapena. There's only fresh player from those that started the game. Introduced for Campbell. Good work there for Motata. His in-game understanding is superb. Reverse pass was on for Smith, but Kekana couldn't produce. Padia Tones for his earlier misplaced pass. Ashen! Oh, what a block! Oh, that almost went in. While the defender's falling, somehow he gets his head on it. Unbelievable defending that. For all money, looked as if that was going to be Ashen's second and fourth in the competition. We move. Instravel. Look at that, Instravel. Superb defending. Still at 1-0. Kiuma. It's a low cross. Much more conventional defending on that instance. Something spectacular from Taonyana. I've seen the defenders come up with something world class. I remember Al-Assam Mohammed of Comoros Islands. What a spectacular bicycle kick goal.
Additional time, 4 minutes. Tempo
4 minutos.
4 minutos.
4 minutes. Angola. Here's Angola. Oh! So close. Yay! That was closer than most would want from a South African perspective. A shot there. Oh, did Fletcher Lowe get a touch? I think he got a little touch. Great save from Fletcher Lowe, but missed by the officials, saying that that was a direct shot that touched nothing. But hey, not to be. Wow. Of course, if this does end in a draw, we go straight to penalties. Touch and base with the first minute. Here's Paulo. Mborazi steps in. Last touch was off Mborazi. Looking tired is Begazele Mborazi. Almost handled the ball as well. Oh, that's good work. As soon as it starts, it ends. Captain needs to look to the left. There's plenty of options. South Africa can put this game away if they find the right pass. Here's Ashen. Here's Ashen. Oh, that was a dive. His first touch was not good enough. They missed the trick. They had an overlap on the left, but they went for a more complicated option. Begazele Mborazi, in the meanwhile, needing some assistance. Needs some magic spray to his back. And to pick up his second Man of the Match award. There's a VAR penalty check, by the way, ongoing. That's what the delay is all about. Can reliably tell you Shaquille April has been nominated as Man of the Match. Check is complete. No penalty. Over to you, Angola. Mborazi, South Africa defending for all their worth. Here's a chance. Now, if you look to the left, there's two options. They went for Shaquille, or rather Lee Ashen. His first touch really let him down. Otherwise, he would have just passed it past the keeper, Ashen. Kekana. They just need to keep the ball. Lukaku. Pass to Mapena. Mapena. Keeper Da Silva. Outstanding today. The amount of key saves is made. When you looked for all the gold in the world that South Africa were going to find the back of the net. Getting in each other's ways, Manu and Kiuma. Manu should have left that for Kiuma. Mborazi, solid as a rock. Insimbi lendwana, insimbi. Oh, Tata needs to be careful. The player keeps to his feet. Look at the number of red shirts. Is this the moment they miss Lucas Paulo? That will probably be the last. And South Africa do secure a final spot. The class of 2024 have done it, led by Patrick Otata. Beat Malawi, beat Lesotho, beat Comoro Islands, beat in Angola, played 4-1-4. Are they want to get to the final without dropping any points or never having tasted defeat? Job well done, Kaniseka Mtaga. Enrico Sobrinho's team. Close but no cigar. Just didn't have enough in the end. They had destroyed Palenkas Negras. Man of the match, Shaquille April, presented to by Timothy Shongwe, COSAFA EXCO member and chairman of competitions. Another man of the match for Shaquille April. In the end, South Africa do just enough with a solitary goal from Leah Shen to see them in this year's final. Up next, Zimbabwe and Zambia. 1-0 at full time.
Qualified for 2025 South Africa. Well done on the COSAFA under 20. África do Sul, então, qualifica-se para o final.
Coach, tell about the match and your performance.
Yeah, what a difficult match. Obviously, it was going to be difficult because we all wanted to proceed to the finals, more so because once you win today, you already qualified for CAF. So it was all going to be a very difficult game. But credit to our boys. I think we worked it until the last minutes.
Mister, boa tarde. Ficou então o sonho. Como é que faz então a leitura do jogo?
Bem, futebol. Futebol é isso. Duas partes completamente distintas. Eles tiveram muita eficácia naquele lance. Depois o jogo ficou repartido. Qualquer uma das duas equipas podia ter ganho o jogo. Nós tivemos chances também de fazê-lo. Bem, claro que merecíamos também no final de fazer melhor, mas futebol é isso. É eficácia. Eles foram mais eficientes do que nós. Então, de parabéns.
Yeah, this is football. We try our best, but this is football. We think that we can score a goal at the last minute, but that is impossible for us. But I think that we do our best.
Como é que fica então esta rapaziada? Vimos jogadores que deram boas indicações, foi acabar com tudo, fez alterações quase no final, mas com jogadores que iam mais para frente. O que é que perspectivava com aquelas entradas do Quinho e dos outros que entraram quase no final?
Bem, a ideia, como sempre, é ganhar. Como na altura nós estávamos a perder, nós tínhamos que arranjar uma estratégia para tentarmos marcar o gol. Por isso é que nós colocamos muitos jogadores ofensivos, claro, correndo algum risco, mas futebol é isso, tem que se correr riscos para tentar alcançar alguma coisa. Não foi possível, vamos continuar a trabalhar. Isso é um processo, é um grupo de rapazes que está connosco de sub-17, vamos tentar avançar com eles e ter paciência dentro do processo.
I think that the idea is the same. We try to do our best to put these players at other level, but this is football. It's not easy for us. We do the accompaniment for these players. The under 7 to under 20 is the second time at the same final. It's not easy for us.
Mister, muito rápido, uma última pergunta. A seleção principal ganhou o COSAFA, era uma obrigação quase para esta seleção também repetir este feito, e qual é a mensagem que deixa para estes rapazes que hoje mostraram que são capazes?
É nossa missão promover os jogadores para as seleções acima. Não é nossa missão essa conquista que tu explicaste, não. A missão é que esses jogadores da sub-17 transferem para a sub-20 e sejam transferíveis para a sub-23. Penso que o mais importante nessas categorias de base é isto, é o processo. Fazer com que esses jogadores cheguem até a seleção principal. É isso que temos a fazer. Queríamos, é claro, conquistar o CET e passar para o CAN, mas não foi possível, mas vamos continuar com o processo, que é mais importante.
We need to respect the process. This is most important for us. We start at under 7, then we go to the under 20, and after we go to under 23. We need all of us respect the process.
Obrigado.